Okay, how's it going, everybody? So we're going to read some more Stalin today. This is the press, July 20, 1908. But this particular section is the second section. And when was this released? This is just released in Works. Oh, he was in the Baku jail where he was detained from March 25th to November 9th, 1908. And yeah, so he wrote this from jail. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this. This is earlier we're reading about these flunky socialists back in, where was this at? I think it was Georgia. Georgian language, advocating for people to, snitch to the police, basically. So let's go ahead and get into this one, though. It's called Hypocritical Zubatovites. Among the cities in the Caucasus which produce original types of opportunism in Baku is Baku. In Baku, there is a group which is still more to the right and therefore more unprincipled than the Tiflis group. We do not mean Promyslovy Vestmik, which has entered into unlawful cohabitation with the bourgeois Sigodnia. Enough has been written about that paper in our press. We are referring to the Shindrikovite Pravoye Delo group, the progenitors of the Baku Mensheviks. True, this group has long ceased to exist in Baku. To escape the wrath of the Baku workers and their organizations, it had to migrate to St. Petersburg. But it sends its screeds to Baku. It writes only about Baku affairs. It is seeking for supporters precisely in Baku. It is striving to, quote, win the Baku proletariat. It will not be amiss, therefore, to talk about this group. Before us lies a copy of Pravoye Delo, numbers 2-3. We turn over the pages, and before our eyes unfold the old picture of the old shady gang, Messieurs, the Shindrikovs. Here is Ilya Shindrikov, the well-known handshaker of Mr. Junkovsky, a veteran of backstage intrigue. Here also is Gleb Shindrikov, former socialist revolutionary, former Menshevik, former Zubatovite, and now in retirement. And here is the celebrated chatterbox, the immaculate Klavdia Shindriko, a pleasant lady in all respects. Nor is there a lack of, quote, followers of various types, like the Groshevs and the Kalinins, who played a part in the movement some time ago, but who are now behind the times and are living only in their reminiscences. Even the shade of the late Lev rises before us. In short, the picture is complete. But who needs all this? Why are these inglorious shadows of the gloomy past thrust upon the workers? Are they calling upon the workers to set fire to the derricks, or to vilify the party and trample it in the mire, or to go to the conference without the workers, and then strike a shady bargain with Mr. Junkovsky? No, the Shindrikovs want to, quote, save the Baku workers. They see that after 1905, i.e., after the workers had driven out the Shindrikovs, the workers find themselves on the brink of a precipice, end quote. See Pravoye Delo, page 80. And so the Shindrikovs produce Pravoye Delo in order to, quote, save the workers, to lead them out of the blind alley. To achieve this, they propose that the workers should return to the past, abandon the gains of the last 3 years, turn their backs on Gudok and Promyslavy Vestnik, give up the existing unions, and send social democracy to the devil. And after expelling all the non-Shindrikovites from the workers' commissions, unite around conciliation boards. Strikes are no longer needed, nor are illegal organizations. All the workers need are conciliation boards on which the Shindrikovs and Gukasovs will, quote, settle questions with Mr. Junkovsky's permission. This is how they want to lead the Baku labor movement out of the, quote, blind alley. That is exactly what is proposed by Mr. Keza of the Chameleon from Neftyanoye Delo. See Neftyanoye Delo number 11. But is not this the way the workers were, quote, saved by Zubatov in Moscow, by Gapon in St. Petersburg, and by Shayevich in Odessa? And did they not all turn out to be mortal enemies of the workers? Upon whom, then, do these hypocritical saviors want to work their daylight swindle? No, Mezirs, the Shindrakovs, although you, along with Keza, assert that the Baku proletariat is, quote, not yet mature, end quote, that it yet, quote, has to pass its matriculation examination, end quote. Before whom? You will not succeed in fooling it. The Baku proletariat is sufficiently politically conscious to be able to tear off your mask and put you in your proper place. Who are you? Where do you come from? You are not social democrats, for you grew up and are living in conflict with social democracy, in conflict with the party principle. Nor are you trade unionists, for you trample in the mire the workers' unions, which are naturally permeated with the spirit of social democracy. You're just Gaponites and Zubatovites, hypocritically wearing the mask of, quote, friends of the people, end quote. You are enemies within the camp, and therefore the most dangerous enemies of the proletariat. Down with the Shindrikovites. Turn your backs on the Shindrikovites. That is our answer to your Pravoye Delo, Messieurs, the Shindrikovs. And that is how the Baku proletariat will respond to your hypocritical advances to them. Bakinsky Proletariat, number 5, July 20, 1908. Okay. So some notes here. Joseph Stalin wrote this review of the press in the summer of 1908 in the Baku jail, where he was detained from March 25th to November 9th, 1908. That was a long time. Spent all year in there. When he was deported to Solvychecksk. Napurtskali, The Spark, a daily newspaper published by the Georgian Mensheviks in Tiflis from May to July 1908. Azri means thought. A Menshevik Georgian newspaper published in Tiflis from January 29th to March 2nd, 1908. In 1904, the brothers Shindrikov, Lev, Ilya, and Gleb formed in Baku a Zubatov, i.e. police-controlled organization known as the Organization of the Balakani and Bibiabat Workers, subsequently renamed the Baku Workers' Union. The Shindrikovs conducted a campaign of slander against the Bolsheviks. By advancing narrow-craft economic slogans, they disorganized the strike movement, tried to disrupt the preparations for an armed insurrection, agitated for the formation of, quote, consolation boards, end quote, cooperatives, etc. They were subsidized by the oil owners and the Tsarist authorities. The Mensheviks officially recognized the Zubatov organization of the Shindrikovs as a party organization. The Baku Bolsheviks exposed the Shindrikovs as hirelings in the Tsarist secret police and utterly defeated them. The journal Pravoye Delo, The Just Cause, was published by the Shindrikovs in St. Petersburg, number 1, appeared in November 1907, number 2 and 3 in May 1908. Josef and Kalinin, who are mentioned later on, were Mensheviks who supported the Shindrikovs. 5. A. Gukasov, one of the biggest oil owners in Baku and the leading member of the Oil Owners Council of the Congress. Okay, yeah. So those are the extra notes on the press by Joseph Stalin. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. This is Marxist-Saw, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Tumblr, Medium. All of these Marxist-Saw. Hit me up there. Y'all have a great day. Dodata Goi.